Hey guys, Knives Galore here. Today isn't going to be one of my regular videos where I make a knife and, yeah, show you how it works. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different, almost out of necessity. I've got this old axe head that I had, the handle was completely broken and I took it off. I've actually used that to make a few knife handles in the past. And I've got this brand new one here that I've shaped a bit with my rasp. I've dented it a little bit where my soft jaws turned out not to be very soft actually. So today I'm going to be making a wedge for it and then cleaning up the axe. So it's going to be more like an axe modification fixing video thing. So yeah, stay tuned and we'll see how that goes. Guys, so first thing I'm going to do, take a little bit of stainless steel, just ordinary stainless steel, nothing special about it. But the first thing I'm going to do, as an engineer, you need to flatten stuff off. You need to make sure everything is square. By doing that, all you need to do is take a machined edge. I'm just going to use my edge of my vernier caliper because I know that's square. Put it on top, have a look down it and see if you can see any holes. If you can see any holes, it's not square. So you do, the best engineering stance I find for this is to go across it that way. All this does is take everything off evenly so you can end up with a nice coat. All you have to do is apply pressure in different areas so you can, and I see I've got a little bit of a lip at the end. So what I'm going to do, put a bit more pressure on the end and I'll end up with no lip. This stainless steel is particularly soft actually. I probably should use mild steel or something, but my mild steel is actually starting to rust now, which is bad. I should probably start using it for something, but oh well. Right, now, as you can see, I've pretty much deburred it at this point, so I've made it a nice machine edge, hopefully. Yeah, and look at that, no gaps. So now that that's done, as you can see, this is not square to anything. I mean, it's just a wibble wobble of steel, basically, at this point, and offcuts from an angle grinder. So, next thing I'm going to do, square off this next edge, then cut it off, so that I end up with two square edges, and then all I have to do is do it again, which is dead easy. It's not hard. All you have to do is cut again, and then make sure they're roughly square. I mean, it is only a wedge, and it doesn't have to go that far. I'm probably going to end up using probably that much of it, so yeah, this should be fun. So yeah, I'm just going to crack on and make this square. I probably won't record all of it because making stuff square, of course, is the most exciting thing. You guys are too busy watching 100 degree knife challenge. I don't know what it is, but right, that looks right. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So, now that I've got two square edges, all I have to do, cut it off roughly, then I can hammer it in and just bevel slightly. I'm only going to do a chisel grind bevel probably because it's not particularly important. I don't see any advantage of having a V grind or a convex grind or anything. I'm just going to do the simplest and one that's going to be sharp up until the point that I hammer it in. So yeah, I'm just going to crack on with that. I'm not sure whether to film it or not because, you know, I don't know how exciting it's going to be. So yeah, I'll probably do most of this off camera and then show you what it looks like in the end. Right, now I've got myself a rough wedge shape. I've I've cut a little bit skew with, so I'm just going to get on the file and file it down as best I can. It doesn't have to be particularly precise, but it's just as precise as I can make it is all the better, really. That's roughly alright. See, so, well, it's not really. It's got a massive curve there, but it doesn't have to be precise. And a main important thing is that it'll fit in. This one does. It actually, the splaying might actually almost help. But anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna cut straight to the beveling now because I can't be bothered to do anything else. I don't know what point me polishing it or anything because that's not really going to achieve anything. Okay guys, this is the setup I've got for my beveling. I'm not going to bother using the grinder or anything because it's not true to what I am, you know. I like filing, and you can do a lot with a file if you put your imagination to any kind of gadget you can do. You can pretty much make an entire knife out of a file. So, yeah, get a good file is all I'm saying. So, yeah, you just get a 2x4 or a piece of battening or whatever. Yeah, then you just put your piece of work, clamp it down, and then that's basically it. You just take your file and file away that way at it until you hit the other end, and basically that's how you chisel grind. There you go. Okay guys, this is what it looks like now. I gave it a nice V-bevel instead of the chisel grind because I thought it might slip when I hammer it in. So yeah, it's not hardened at all, it's just soft steel. I'm just going to whack it in and then pray it works. And then after that, we're just going to move on to sanding up the handle, making it look really nice. Okay guys, it's in now. As you can see, it's, well, really fought its way in. It took a lot of effort to get in, but as a general rule with axes, the harder it is to get in, the even harder it will be to get out. So it's probably not coming out now. So if I do a few swings, it's not just going to fly off the end and kill my friend that stood over there. So very happy how it's turned out so far. Now all I have to do, decide if I'm going to polish the axe head up. Probably not. And just sand the handle down where it's got a bit wrecked during the making process. So yeah, let's get to it then. Well, that's the 60 grit done. I wouldn't recommend going too long with the 60 grit just because you can take off so much wood. I just wanted to take enough off here so that the vice marks didn't show up anymore, which is exactly what I've done now. Now, I'm just going to do the same on the other side because there's no vice marks there still. And I've got to think about how I'm going to position it by vice. Vice positioning is 90% of engineering. good things about sanding though, it's very therapeutic apparently. I find it a real pain in the ass. Right, now I'm done with the 60 grit. I've taken off all the vice marks, it's all very smooth in hand, so yeah, I'm going to do the rest of the sanding off camera to spare you from any more. I'm just going to go up to probably 240, 320, something like that, maybe even 400 if I've got it somewhere. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the sanding. I'll show you what it looks like. Well, this is the piece of crap I've turned up with at the end. It's nice looking. I've just covered it in linseed oil, so it looks alright. I've taken it up to about 400 grit, so yeah, it's alright. If you like videos like this, then feel free to shout at me in the comments or just or do something. Anyway, I'm going to go inside because it's absolutely freezing. Have a good day. See you in the next video. This is what the axe looks like after all the linseed oil's dried and, you know, just everything's been done to it pretty much. It's finished at this point. I think it looks really nice. It's a bit on the heavy side when you swing it, so, you know, when you hold it, you have to hold it more here for it to be really controlled, because if you do hold it traditionally where you hold an axe, it's really heavy and hard to control, so that's the only downside to this. But other than that, it's really nice, and I'm just going to show you how to sharpen an axe really quickly, and then we can get on to testing it and see how it works. So the actual sharpening of the axe is really quite easy. All you have to do is hold a reasonably constant angle and go forward and backwards with it. So you start with the top part of the blade on your stone, you go forward and then you pull back. Most of this is done with the actual handles, so you just go forward and backwards like that. Well, and a good point also to make sure your oil stone has a lot of oil on it, or your whetstone has been soaked. I haven't quite applied enough oil, so you can okay, now as you can probably see, there's a nice edge starting to form there by that nice shiny bit of metal there that isn't part of the patina. So I'm quite happy with this edge so far. It's an axe edge, not a knife edge, so it's not going to be as sharp, but try and make sure that you're not biased on one side. I've made it slightly biased, so all that means is I've sharpened slightly too much on one side and not enough on the other, so it offsets the bevel slightly. So all you have to do to rectify that is sharpen a bit more on one side. Yep, and that's done a nice job now. That's just going to go on the other side a bit just to top up the bevel, but and that now is a very usable axe. It's sharp and it's got a nice comfortable ergonomic handle that I didn't make. I bought this one, but you could very easily make your own, but I don't like working with dead trees. I like working with metal. So yeah, this is a really nice axe, and now let's get straight on trying to use it to cut something and see how well it does, I guess. So yeah, let's go do that. Before I show you that, I'm just going to show you something quickly. I've made a slight mistake here, which I wasn't really meant to sharpen this much, that you can actually almost feather with it, which is really not great, because as soon as I hit it now, it's just going to dull the edge immediately. I'm still going to see how it does, but I'm just going to show you that in retrospect it was a slightly bad idea to put it at such a low angle. You should probably put it at probably more like this rather than this next time, so if you're interested in that. So yeah, now you can go and see. Okay, this is what we'll be hacking up today. I was going to use it to make something out of, but as you can see, it started to get fungus and stuff growing on it because I didn't store it correctly, and I got adhesive on it, and I just thought, too much effort, let's not do anything with it. So I just put it in the corner of my shed and left it there. But now we got this, we can actually test it on something quite cool. So yeah, let's start hacking it up. One hit just split it just to practice, see how it went, but straight in half again. Just got to put your back into it a bit. As you can see, after about 3 minutes of chopping, I've completely annihilated this wood. It could be a little bit sharper, and if I take in the time to sharpen it a bit more, I could get it way more effective, but it doesn't need to be that effective. I mean, it's only splitting wood, and this is kind of the hardest wood it's going to ever have to split. It's elm, so that's pretty much it. And most of the wood it will be splitting will be kind of thin branches that way, and you can just split it down the middle. It's the easiest thing in the world. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the axe. The only thing else I have to talk about is the design, pretty much, and I don't want to spend too long. So just a really quick note on the design of the axe. This is what's called a fire axe head. The only thing it's got to say about that is it's got like a breaching head, so it's really thin in relation to this. So normal axes spread out much further, so you get the maximum area to split a log. This isn't really designed for splitting logs, it's designed for precision hitting timber. So say if you're trying to get into a house that's on fire, you use this to precision hit, because then you've got a smaller area, so that means more pressure and more force to split the logs. And the handle, the only other thing I have to talk about is this little curve at the end. This fits nicely in your hand, so when you swing the axe, the head is always facing downward and it's not on an angle, so the wood isn't more likely to fly off in a different direction. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the axe. And yeah, if you like this video, then please like and subscribe, and happy Christmas, everyone. Sorry I was off for a few weeks, but needed to take a break and speak to the family and all that. So yeah, I got a few other videos lined up, and make sure to check them out. So I'll see you guys in the next video.